Hi there everyone. Today I'm going to make corn chowder. I haven't made corn chowder in a long time and I'm really craving it. Our weather keeps changing. First it's hot, 90 degrees, and now it's back to a colder weather. So I'm kind of in the mood for a chowder. So I'm going to show you how I make my very tasty, hearty corn chowder. The very first part is shucking your corn. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove all the husks, and I'm going to use 5 corn on the cob, 5 cobs of corn. So we'll just finish shucking this corn and I'll be back. These are all of the ingredients you're going to need. About 4 cloves of garlic, and I have such a large jar of minced garlic that's really good. So I'm going to use garlic. You're going to use 1 carrot. I have a couple of small ones, 2 stalks of celery, 4 thick pieces of bacon, 1 onion, and I'm using 2 Yukon Gold potatoes. You can use regular if you want. I'm using 3 cups of chicken broth and 2 cups of whole milk, and then you want 3 cups of your peeled corn. It's funny because I just ordered a corn peeler online and I haven't gotten it yet. This would be a perfect time to use it, but I'm going to use a knife and I'm going to peel all the corn off. So these are our ingredients and I'll show you how we do it. Okay, so we're going to cut these up in like little inch-sized pieces because it will cook down. They will cook down quite a bit. So you see like it's an inch. These are going to shrink down like 3/4 in size. So this will go in the chowder soup, and we'll also save some of it for the garnish on the outside of the soup. So we're going to finish cutting the bacon, then we're going to chop all of our vegetables. While you're chopping up all your vegetables, you want to put your cut up bacon in a Dutch oven or a large pot and just cook this bacon until it's crisp. You want to have 3 cups of these corn kernels. That's about what you need for this chowder. So we're just going to cut all these up. We got exactly 3 cups of corn from those 5 corn cobs, which is really nice. So now what we're going to do is chop our celery and carrots, about this size. And we're going to do a mirepoix, which is a combination of carrots, celery, and onions. And we're going to cook that in the bacon grease after we remove the bacon from the pot. So now I'm just going to cut up my onion. Okay, now we're going to chop our 1 onion. And then when we're done chopping this, we're going to saute all the veggies on the stove in the bacon grease for about 7 minutes. So your bacon is crisp now, so we're going to remove this and drain it on a paper towel and keep it aside for now. So we removed the bacon, and now I removed a lot of the bacon grease because I don't need all of it. Now I'm going to add a tablespoon of butter and kind of mix that around a little. And now I'm going to add our vegetables. And we're going to cook this probably on a medium-low for about 7 or 8 minutes till they're softened and translucent. This has been cooking right about 7 minutes, and now I'm going to put my minced garlic in. And it's about a teaspoon of minced garlic from a jar. And we're going to stir this and let it cook and get its flavor in there for about a minute. We don't want it to burn. That's why we want to keep stirring it. So our garlic has been infused in everything, and so now we're going to add our 3 cups of corn kernels and our 2 cups of chopped Yukon potatoes. We're going to kind of stir that around. And the only thing that's really going to cook down a lot are the potatoes. And now we're going to add our chicken broth and milk. So we're going to add our corn cobs in here because they will boil on a low, this is going to cook on a low medium. And there's so much flavor in these cobs that it's going to cook in the soup, in the chowder. And then we're going to put our 3 cups of chicken broth. We're going to put our 1.5 teaspoons of thyme, our like 2 teaspoons of salt and a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. And that's all the flavorings that we're adding. And now we're going to add our 2 cups of milk. You don't want the soup to curdle, so that's why you're not going to heat this on high. You're going to keep it on like a low, like a 3 or a 4, and let it cook for 15 or 20 minutes. Let it cook down, and it will simmer, kind of cook at a low, because you don't want the milk to curdle. You can see it's bubbling a little, and it's on like a 3.5. This is what you want. You do want it cooking, and you are going to see a little bubbles, but you don't want a high boil, because a high boil will curdle the milk. This won't. This will just cook the soup and chowder. So just like I make bean with bacon soup, I do that with corn chowder, where you take like about 2 or 3 cups of the liquid with all the vegetables, and you put it in a blender, and you kind of mix it around. And what that does is it thickens it, and it gives it a thickening agent for the soup. So that's what you do to thicken it. So everything looks really good, and I'm going to pour my pureed soup in, the part I blended, and what it'll do is it'll thicken this up really nice. So we're going to give this a try now. So to be transparent, this did break a little, not a lot, but it did break a little. I did cook it right like at 3, and I think it might have just gone a little too fast cooking, so it did break up a little. It still looks delicious, so let's give it a try. The last thing you're going to do is you're going to add the bacon, and then you're also going to garnish your bowl of soup with a little bit of it. Those are probably a little bigger than I wanted, but it's good. Okay, this is still really good, but like I said, I like to be transparent, and it did break a little, not a lot. I was stirring it, because you do have to stir it occasionally, and I think I left and went in the living room for 5 minutes and came back. It's a little broken, but like I said, it's not real bad at all, because it wasn't boiled high. It's just very slight, but let's give it a try. It's very, very good. So it turned out, and if you want it thicker, then what you do is you just put more of it in a blender, and it does thicken it up. But I kind of like it just like it is right now. It's not thin, it's not thick, it's kind of in between. So it's very tasty. So if you like corn chowder, this is a really good recipe. So I hope you give it a try, and I hope it turns out wonderful for you. My new corn peeler just came in the mail when I finished making this chowder. Here it is.